Hey guys, this week we're going to be talking about Roman achievements and specifically talking about their talents for engineering or building. We're going to be looking at some of the major contributions that Rome made that are still influencing our world today. Now, what we're going to be talking about specifically are these four topics: concrete and arches, roads, something called an aqueduct, which you can see in the picture there, and then the Roman baths. You're going to be creating some sort of a presentation to share with me, showing me what you learned about each of these things, as well as how you think they're being used or relate to the world today. If you take a look at the slide here, it's talking about you can use Google Slides, you could use Powtoons, you could use Prezi, you could do a Wii video, your choice. And you're going to have three basic things on each slide. The first one is some sort of a picture that represents the Roman version of this thing. So Roman concrete, a Roman road, a Roman aqueduct, so on and so forth. Then finding a modern picture that shows how we've adapted that information and how we use it today. So instead of an aqueduct, what do we use to do the same job? You can find this picture online, or if you really want to be adventurous, go on out and take your phone along with you and take pictures. Maybe you've got something nearby your house that you think kind of relates, and is an example of the modern equivalent to an arch or a Roman bath. And so you can take a picture of those things to include on your form, on your presentation. And then I want you to answer 4 questions for me somewhere on that Google slide. How was this used? So how was concrete used? How were roads used? And I know that sounds like a silly question, but it'll be answered in the video. How was it built? What materials were used or what tools were used, if you can find that information out. And then what surprised you or was interesting to you about that topic, okay? Now, you may not find an answer to every single part of this, but I want you to do your best to answer the first 3 questions, and everyone should be able to have an answer to the last question. Find something interesting or surprising. If this type of presentation isn't your thing, you can stop watching the video right now, and I have posted some worksheets that have information with questions to answer. They go between 5 to 10 questions per worksheet, and so you could do that instead if you would like to. You can make a choice. Okay, so here we go to our first topic. Roman concrete. So we're going to learn a little bit about how Roman concrete was made. Okay, so one of the things that they talked about in the video was how concrete was made in ancient Rome. And the recipes are here. So for modern concrete, you have three ingredients. You have water and cement. Now, I always thought cement and concrete were the same thing, but cement is actually a powder that goes into making concrete. Um, and then small rocks. So the cement and the water are mixed together to make like a paste, and then it's mixed in with rocks, and then it hardens. It doesn't last more than a couple decades, like 10, 20 years. Think about your sidewalks. If they're that gray color, that's concrete, and they crack really easily. But in Rome, instead of that cement, they used volcanic ash and lime. And those things seem to have a chemical reaction that made it last a really long time. So Roman concrete gets stronger over time, but the disadvantage is it can't withstand a lot of weight. But if you're in Rome and the worst thing that's going over your roads is, you know, carts versus cars, that's not a problem. If you were to make roads out of concrete, which wasn't a very common material for roads. But modern concrete can support a lot of weight, but it does crack pretty easily. So there are two differences between ancient concrete and modern concrete. And just recently is where we've learned how to make the ancient versions of concrete. Another structural piece that's very, very important to the building of things like bridges and things like that is the arch. Now, we know that the Etruscans and even some groups in Mesopotamia had built arches similar to this. Rome just perfected its use and also did a lot of building and very tall constructions using arches. Now, later on, when you watch the video for the aqueducts, you'll see an example of how they put that keystone into place. Look at the shape of it. So you can see that the pressure, if you think about equal pressure, the sides, the weight on top of that keystone is not pressing straight down, but it's pressing out, and so it's widening the balance of that structure. So think about standing with both of your feet together and having somebody gently try to push you, gently, and then widen your feet and have somebody push you with the same amount of force. You're going to be a lot more sturdy when you've got that wider center of balance. And so that's one of the reasons that this arch works. Okay, so that's the end of this first section. So you can think about how you want to present the information. You can do, like I said, slides, Prezi video, Powtoons, whatever you'd like. You'll be adding on to it with each topic. I just want to give you some time each day to kind of get the information about one topic done. And then if you want to go right on to talking about aqueducts next, you're welcome to. Otherwise, you can come back to it tomorrow. But I suggest you get this slide talking about roads and arches done before you go on to the next topic. All right, so we'll see you in a little bit with topic number 2.